Hello, everybody. My name is Carson Matrango. You may also know me as the First Time Dad. Today, I have a special guest. He's actually the founder of BodyFlow. This is actually the product that Brielle, my wife, used when her milk supply was very low. So I really wanted to bring him on and kind of talk about the product and what it is and how it works and things like that. So welcome, Vincent Jarman.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, thanks for flying me in. Happy to talk about it. I'm really glad that it helped Brielle through a tough time.
But I know you have kind of a story of your own on how BodyFlow was made, and it's kind of a similar story, if I'm not mistaken. So tell us the first time that you found BodyFlow and why you decided to make it into a product.
Yeah, so the why behind turning it into a product was similar. My wife was breastfeeding our son. This was 3 years ago when he hit 3 months old, and her supply dropped.
Yeah.
And she's the even keel. She's very even keel. Like that. Yeah. I'm usually the one that can.
You always have the, like yin and yang, almost like in a relationship. Absolutely.
Totally. So, and I could see her face, like it was like she felt like she couldn't take care of this baby. So she had tried it in the past. Didn't stick with it because she didn't like it, honestly. But in this instance, she had tried a couple of the galactagogues, the herbal things, which I'm not anti the herbal things. It's just the herbs are like vitamins, like they have to be specific to you. They have to be specific to your need. They're supplementing a deficiency. They're not just one. It's not one size fits all. It's one size fits none. But anyway, so she had tried a few of those, no luck at all. With these, I'm like, look, you're probably just dehydrated. Your body's going through so many changes.
Absolutely.
Hormones, stress.
Absolutely.
It's
trying to legit create food for your baby.
Yeah, and food that's made up of like 86% water.
Absolutely.
So it makes sense that when you're dehydrated, you're not going to be able to make something that's mostly water.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we tried it out, and she immediately started putting milk back in the fridge. She had a couple of coworkers that were going through similar situations, same results with them, and then we got a few lactation consultants to work with us.
That's incredible.
To trial it out with their patients.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
All right, and I'm really curious. Let's take a step back. And how did you find this formula, or did you make it yourself? How did that work?
No, sure. So so my story with this is it's a personal story, but so. I was an athlete most of my life. I was a javelin thrower in college. Kind of screwed my body up, fractured a few vertebrae, ruptured some discs, and those caught up with me down the road. So at some point in 2009, it just aggravated those injuries, and it was just in pain constantly. So I was on pain medicine, eventually wasn't sleeping well, so then I was on pain medicine and Ambien. Then my blood pressure started. I was just going the wrong direction.
That's kind of how it almost seems like, you get medicine, and then you need this medicine for this one. Totally. So I understand,
That's where I was going. And my background's radiology, so, Western medicine education kind of thing.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I heard about this naturopath. He's in a small town in Louisiana, but he was an MD for 28 years. Got throat cancer. Docs sent him to hospice. We lost this battle essentially. He goes to Sri Lanka, becomes a monk, gets treated over there. They shave his head, the whole thing.
The whole thing.
6 months later, he's cancer free.
Come on.
Retires as MD, stays, gets a doctorate.
Wow.
There in Sri Lanka, goes and trains further in China, comes back to small town Louisiana, and he was actually given an award by the I don't know the name of the society, but it's basically all the holistic practitioners. And it's the same thing, same award that they gave to the Dalai Lama and Mother Teresa, they gave to this guy.
Wow.
So just brilliant guy, really had a huge impact on my life. So one of the first things that we did when I saw him, he asked me to have blood work. So he still believed in Western medicine. He asked me to have blood work done and urinalysis done before I came in and bring that with me. So one of the first things he looks at is my hydration level. He says, "You're completely dehydrated." And I was like, "Nope." I was like, "You're wrong." I was like, "I drink a gallon of water a day, every day, diligently. I don't miss a day."
Yeah.
I know how I feel.
Yeah, you would think that that's really I mean, I would say, you're hydrated. If you told me you're drinking a gallon a day.
Totally.
I mean, I was trying to do that at one point.
Yeah.
A
lot of people do.
Yeah.
So he's like, that has nothing to do with your hydration. And I was just like, what are you talking about? So, electrolytes were just at that point, the show Idiocracy, where they're like giving plants Gatorade and stuff, I'm like, what are you talking about? So but then he explained to me how it actually works. Right.
Yeah.
So this is the formula that he was making. So he had this stuff in his office. He puts it into a cup. He's like, we're gonna check your hydration, right? So he puts 1 serving this in a cup, puts a few ounces of water in it, and gives it to me to drink. He's like, what does it taste like? I was like, the ocean, the Pacific Ocean. It's so salty. Yeah. So what happened, the reason why it was so salty to me is because these minerals, sodium, potassium, magnesium, they're present in every cell in your body when you're hydrated, right?
Gotcha.
They're what brings water into and out of your cells. Wow. Otherwise, it doesn't get to your cells.
Wow.
You can drink it, it gets in your stomach, gets in your blood, gets filtered out, doesn't do anything, doesn't get to your cells without this, right?
Wow.
So when you're hydrated, it's in every cell in your body, including your mouth. Wow. Right. So when it's not there and you take it and you put it in there, it's a shock.
Right.
Your mouth's like, your salivary glands flare up and everything. But when you're hydrated, you hardly notice it.
Yeah. So
when I get people to check it out, I kind of give them a heads up, and like a third of the people are like, I didn't really notice anything. I was like, well, your electrolytes are probably in pretty decent balance. Wow. A third of the people are like, what is this? It's salt and it's slippery. Like it makes it feel a little slick as well. So that's the way
it's like smooth kind of tasting.
Exactly.
It's a good way.
It smooths it out. Yeah. It's more like coconut water.
Yes.
Kind of feel.
Yeah. So this naturopath, he's the one who actually developed this formula.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And it's a very plain formula as far as like the science of it with the sodium potassium pump. It's 3 sodium, 2 potassium, and magnesium to fuel the interaction. So when the sodium potassium go across the lining of the cell, magnesium fuels it through ATP, and that's how you hydrate. That's
basically those minerals allow your body to absorb and push out.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sorry.
No. Yeah. You went a little. I was like, I get what you're saying, but no.
No, you're exactly right.
I got you. So whereas if you just drink regular water, it just bypasses all that. It doesn't do any pushing motion. It's just it goes straight in, straight out.
Yeah.
I liked something that you had told me before, that a lot of people think that they're hydrated when their urine is clear.
Yeah.
And that just doesn't seem to be the case. Can you touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, totally. No, it's not. That's when I was drinking a gallon a day through that period, it was just as clear as can be, and I'm like, I'm hydrated. But if you think about it, like if it looks the same way coming out as it did going in, like what did it do? The answer is nothing. Way to put it. It didn't do anything. Not that you don't want orange pee. I'm not saying you want, but you want a little tint to it. It's showing that it's getting in there. It's getting into your cells. It's working. It's working for you. It's pushing them out.
People are gonna be DMing you pictures of their urine. Be like, is this right? Is this the color that it should be?
How's this color?
I've been using it for a week. Is this right?
How'd you get neon green pee?
It's just putting dye in the.
You look great.
No, but man, that's awesome. So he developed the product, and so what made you want to take the product and well, I guess it's with your wife, right?
Yeah, totally.
You want to take the product and actually create it for other people.
So my naturopath was making it, and then when he passed away in 2019.
Oh wow.
And then so I started making it. And he told me where he was getting it, how to make it, why I made it that way. So I was just making it for myself.
Gotcha.
And then my wife started experiencing low supply and had good results with that, had good results with the coworkers, reached out to a few lactation consultants, got a couple of them on board with us to trial it out with a dozen of their patients or so. And it was just home runs left and right. We're batting 1,000. I'm like, okay, this really, really works.
Absolutely. And at this point, was BodyFlow, or were you still just making it at home?
Still just making it at home.
Gotcha. When and they still went on and did the trials and things like that. Okay, wow. So what point were you like, you know what, I think I have something here?
At that point.
Yeah,
because we were batting 1,000 up until, so the first person that it didn't work for, I was like, but then she had blood work done, and she had a legitimate hormone deficiency. So the one person that it didn't work for had a hormone deficiency. So then I was like, this can really help a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I'm sure you saw with Brielle, like they, like women that are breastfeeding, it's so much work. I was so like, but like, it's a heavy thing when that goes away. It's like they feel like they can't feed their baby.
Yes. And like that is such a scary feeling, and man, props to women, man. But I'm serious. Like,
the thing I wanted to kind of just parlay that into is what made it more interesting to investors.
Gotcha.
And then part of it as well is that Louisiana State University is going to be going through like the board already. They've approved. They're doing a study on this, and there's never been a study on breast milk volume. This is what they have. Yeah. So LSU has the biggest human performance lab of any university. It's in Shreveport. Yeah. So talking to this guy, and it just, when I met him, very serendipitously, his wife was breastfeeding, dealing with low supply, and it works. They don't usually do private sector studies, and it worked. And he's like, we got to do this. We got to do this. So we took some time and wrote it. It hasn't started yet, but they had already passed through. They've already agreed to do it.
Come on, that's awesome.
Yeah, so looking forward to that, because it's a big mental stress for people that can't produce, and physically it just, so a lot of the women that were doing the trials, I'd get calls, especially the ones like that were more fitness oriented, while they were breastfeeding, they would get cramps in their feet and their calves at night, and those went away. I had a few of them that were like, would this help with a headache? And I'm like, if your headache's caused by dehydration, which most headaches are, there's a lot of literature coming out lately showing that a lot of migraines are caused by dehydration, which makes sense because you don't have nerve endings in your brain, right? So it's like it's coming from the dura. But
I'm really curious. So that's how it started, and I'm just curious to see, or to know rather, how it kind of transitions from breastfeeding moms and things like that to what it is now. Athletes are using it, normal, like just regular people are using it and finding a difference within their day, what was that step? Like, what did that look like?
Conversations with multiple people, eventually proving me wrong, because I didn't want to go for athletes at all.
Really?
One of my best friends, the guy I threw the javelin with in college, he made the Olympics 4 times, and he's like, athletes, and I'm like, no, there's so many sports drinks,
right?
And he's like, but athletes these days are different than we were at. There's more health conscious about what they're putting in their body. And BodyFlow is nothing extra. I have not changed the formula. So that was one of the things when I got investors. I was like, I'm not changing the source. Like this, you can buy cheap stuff. There are cheap versions of everything, but this is the same stuff that I was making for me, and that was one of the things I insisted on. I was like, we're not, because it works.
Absolutely.
Don't change it.
Why change it if it works?
Yeah. So I talked to he kind of promoted it, and then I talked to this guy that I happened to meet at somewhere. I don't even remember, the airport or something, but he was like a coach for the San Francisco Giants, and he knew all about hydration. I told him the formula. He's like, it matches the sodium potassium pump, which we can cover that later. That gets heavy with science. But I was like, that's why it's formulated this way. And I was like, maybe we should. So we got a few athletes to trial it. They like it. Now we have a few like cross country teams buying it and stuff like that. So it's never been a major focus, but it works. We have one guy, he's a pro basketball player, and he keeps a stick on him, like in case he gets a cramp.
Yeah.
And he'll take it straight from the stick, which is, I don't recommend. Like, it's like straight salt water, but it's, he said it makes his cramp go away in 5 seconds, which I didn't even. That is
incredible.
Yeah, I didn't even know it would do that. Yeah. And I was like, dude, it's got to be disgusting though, right? And he's like, wow, I don't care, like if it works. So.
Right. I mean, if you're in pain, you're gonna do. You're gonna take something. And it's just a natural thing. Like, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
A lot of people are very natural and very and the fact that this is all natural is beautiful, man.
Yeah. No flavors or sweeteners or anything, because what we're seeing now too is that people are like monk fruit, stevia and stuff. They don't have calories and same calories that are in sugar, but they cause similar reactions in the body.
Right.
So it's funny when people are like, stevia is plant based. Monk fruit's plant based. I'm like, what do you think sugar comes from? It's a plant, Right. That's what we should make some super sweet one. Be like plant based sweetener. What is it? Sugar. But
that's funny.
But
man.
Funny. Nothing like that in there. So people are more conscious about it, and the approach was in the beginning was going to be more geared towards, so why it works out so well with lactating moms is it's a measurable, right? So like most people aren't in tune. They don't have something that measures their hydration. There aren't any really good tools yet that measure it all. And they don't really know. They're not that in tune with their body. So go after somebody who can measure something. So with a lactating mom, they can see, okay, I'm making 4 more ounces of breast milk a day immediately. Like they have measurables. And then the other folks that I wanted to gear towards were people with medical issues that cause dehydration as part of, like a side effect.
Who would have thought that, well, I mean, maybe a lot of people, but who would have thought hydration really played a factor in that many things of your life?
Yeah. I mean,
I would assume energy levels and, the cramps, like that's a big thing. Headaches, you name it. Man.
Sleep. You get a lot of people that are like, I slept through the night. Yeah. Wow. It's hard to sleep through the night when you're dehydrated.
So if you drink BodyFlow, do you find yourself using the restroom more or the same? How does that work?
Yeah. No, that's a real good question. So when it depends on where your body is when you start, but high level, what most people will experience is they're going to use the bathroom less.
Wow.
Because you're absorbing the water now into your cells.
Right.
It's not
pushing
just
it out.
Right. It's not just going into your stomach and then into your blood and then filtered through your kidneys. It's getting into your cells.
Wow.
So you use it, and then when it comes out, it looks different.
Yeah.
It's weird to talk about pee color, but a lot of people are like, I'm peeing clear, I'm hydrated. No. If it comes out looking the exact same way it did when it went in, it didn't do anything.
Right. Your body can absorb it.
I'm not saying you want dark orange pee.
No.
But if it's perfectly clear, you might be lacking electrolytes, or you might be drinking too much water.
Yeah, the reason why that question popped in my mind was when you said, someone said they slept through the entire night, but after drinking BodyFlow, you would think, like you said, when you're hydrated, people assume that, when you use the bathroom more, when you urinate, it's clear, and you said that they slept through the entire night. So I was kind of intrigued, like, wait, so you actually don't use the restroom as much?
Yeah, and that's what's interesting is that like my mom and dad both use this, and talking to people, talking to the boomers, it's always interesting. Like it's hard to get them to buy stuff, boomers, right? Yeah. It's hard to get them to buy stuff. But secondly, like that's, look, it's coming for all of us. If we're lucky, we'll get there. We'll grow old too. But like, you pee more.
Yeah.
You pee more when you get older. Absolutely. And so they drink less water. Yeah. They need more water. Yeah. They drink less water.
Yeah.
This is the perfect thing for them. It's just hard
it's
hard to get those suckers to buy anything. I wish you could just get them to try it. But
I don't even know if it's necessarily when you get older. I feel like since I became a first-time dad, I'm finding myself waking up having to go use the bathroom and stuff.
Oh man.
I'm waiting for my dad bod to kick in, man. It's just not happening.
Mine came about 20 years before I had a kid.
Everybody keeps asking that, dude, when you gonna grow your love handles for your dad bod? I'm like, bro, I don't know. I'm eating,
You're never gonna. You've always been shredded though, like dancing and stuff,
Yeah, but no. Anyway, so okay. I'm like trying to find a turning point now, like what to ask you.
But yeah, I would love to challenge anybody to do. Like you drinking. Whatever your favorite hydration method is, like whether it's just, I don't want to say any brand names, but whatever it is, switch to this and water
and
for 10 days.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, we're doing a new package. It comes in 30. We're doing a new package. Should be ready in about a month where it has packs of 10 for people that want to try it out.
Absolutely. So what does one of these packets look like? Can we open this up?
Yeah, totally.
Because you said no powder and it's, so.
Yeah, it's liquid. So it's, yeah. I don't know where the camera's showing, but I'll show you. This is what I usually do. Shout out to Primo Espresso if you're in Portland, Oregon. That place is so good. And look, oh yeah, shoot, I forgot. You just twist the top. Gotcha. And this thing, sound effects are not necessary. It does it on its own. But yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Yep. And then you put your no name purified water in there.
No name. That's it, huh?
That's it. So yeah,
and you don't recommend just drinking the stick.
No, not at all. Do not. It'll be really. It doesn't matter how hydrated you are. It would be insanely salty.
Gotcha. But people do it. You're saying
you can give it a shot if you want. Like, yeah, I mean,
I don't know if I
see
should
the face
right now.
you make. You know, that maybe you can get that going on your TikTok, man. See if you can do it without making a face. No, I'm just saying you can't. So what you were saying before about the liquid, yes, totally. When I first started formulating this, I wanted to use a powder because it's a lot cheaper
to make.
Yeah. Wow. And ship, and it's lighter, and it's easier to package.
That's what most people use, so that makes sense.
Yeah. You know. But then I started realizing, I was like, it's not working. It doesn't mix very well. Like, you're probably not getting the same results. So we did trials of doing urinalysis, like just paying attention to it.
Yeah.
Got nothing. I mean, very, very little increase from any of the powders. Wow. So switched over to liquid because that's what my naturopath was using. Yeah, he had it figured out.
Yeah.
So I just went back to exactly what he was using.
Yeah.
And
wow. So in BodyFlow,
yeah,
you said it was 3 ingredients mainly, or is there more than that?
Sodium, potassium, magnesium. They're all paired with the chloride. So sodium, potassium, magnesium, they don't exist on their own in nature. They're always, in a molecule paired with something else. So we went with chloride because it's salt, basically. Right. It will completely absorb.
Yeah. So it's not vitamins, it's minerals.
It's minerals. BodyFlow. Yeah. Just minerals. So sodium, magnesium, potassium, all with chlorides.
Yeah. Wow.
Because chlorides.
So, because a lot of people take vitamins and stuff like that, like B12, for example, to get energy. And you were saying that hydration, like you might just need to be hydrated, and that kind of gives you your energy levels up and things like that. Vitamin C people take a lot to kind of, really boost their, immune systems and things of that nature. But it might just all lead back to hydration, and there's no vitamins in it. So
if you think about it this way, and we'll use B12 as the example in this anecdote. Yeah. A lot of people get up and take a multivitamin in the morning. Cool, that's fine. Yeah. No big deal. Like they don't overload the vitamins, right?
Because you still need vitamins as well as minerals.
You do.
Gotcha.
You need vitamins, and you need minerals, right? It's real hard to for your body to operate even close to optimally on trash.
Just one.
I mean, on the trash that we do, like our bodies are amazing. But anyway, if you want to feel good and you want to be healthy. But so think about it. You wake up in the morning, you take your multivitamin. Cool. You probably don't need any more vitamins the rest of the day. You're going to eat food. Our food doesn't have as much vitamins in it nowadays as it used to because of the way farming works and all the GMO stuff. But so you can't count on your veggies to give you all of the electrolytes you need like you could 15 years ago.
Right.
Unless you're growing your garden, then you can. Then you probably don't need BodyFlow. If you got well water, you probably don't need it because it's already got this stuff in that. We can talk about that too. But so back to the vitamins. B12. Your multivitamin had it. You're halfway through your day. You want an energy drink. You want one of those hydration packets. It's got more B12 in it. It's got more of every vitamin, a lot of vitamins in it. But we're just using that as a specific example.
Gotcha.
They're all using the cheap B12, the cyanocobalamin. And you can't process that. It goes into your body. I mean, you can, but like it takes, it's not
harder
efficiently.
your
body's working real hard. So then, then you want an energy drink later in the afternoon and you close out your day because you're tired because you feel like crap because all the crap. Right. You drink that. That's got it in there too. So now here you are at the end of the day, you had 5,000% of what you should have had B12. You're stressed out. You're anxious. Your body's working hard. You're processing stuff. You got this extra stuff. It's blocking other vitamins from being able to do what they need to do. It's just unnecessary. So when people ask us like, why don't you have that? Get your vitamins somewhere else. Like, this is just for hydration.
Would you ever actually make a BodyFlow that's both? Like, would you ever add vitamins into this formula? Is that a thought?
Maybe eventually. I want people to realize what the product is, and if it catches on and people like it, and then they want additional vitamins. But
you don't see yourself doing that right now?
I don't really want to. Gotcha. I want it to be just laser. I want it to be known as the best product in hydration. I
Gotcha.
believe it is. I mean, I know like.
No, absolutely.
I confidently say that because of the person I learned it from and the person who formulated it
Absolutely.
and what it did and what it's done. So
Yeah.
I'm not saying I created this great.
No.
You know, it's something that I learned about. And it's pretty simple science.
Yeah. Absolutely.
The science part of it's very interesting. If you want me to touch on it at all, okay.
Absolutely. Why not?
So there's this thing called the sodium potassium pump that happens in our body. So it's literally half of what your brain does. 50% of the calories your brain burns. It's facilitating this sodium potassium pump. So what is it? Sodium potassium pump is just getting 3 sodium, 2 potassium in and out of cells. It's the way water gets into your cells, right?
Gotcha.
It's the way you cellularly hydrate. It's the way, and you could Google sodium potassium pump and find a million people to teach it to you any way you like to learn it.
Yeah.
It's super complicated, but I'll just tell you, 3 sodium, 2 potassium, magnesium fuels it. That's it. That's all that's in this. If you look at the ratio, it's 3 sodium to 2 potassium with the proper amount of magnesium to fuel that interaction.
Gotcha.
So it's basically just making your water, in theory, 100% efficient.
Gotcha.
Like to where you could absorb every ounce of it into your cells when you put this in 24 to 32 ounces. That's the goal.
And so you just said, which kind of fascinated me, I believe you said 50% of your brain's power is just going into
the sodium potassium pump.
Wow.
Just running in the background. Yeah.
So if you were lacking on those minerals, you're really going to feel an energy deprive, right?
That's a good question. I don't know how that works into like the energy that you feel, but I don't know if you don't.
I would assume so, right?
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
I mean, yeah. And then I also want to bring this up too, because it's with the brain and things like that. Is do you feel like some people's anxiety and stress can be caused because of lack of hydration? You think that's a possibility?
Absolutely. Yeah, it totally
Really?
is. Yeah, totally.
Wow.
And then furthermore, but so all your nerve impulses, like it's all based off of this mineral content in your body. Like your body's mostly water, right? None of it's fresh water, right? Like all of
it's salt.
Yeah. So
like when you cry, you taste salty.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
I'm not saying like I drank my tears, but
Yeah.
Wow.
Just to go a little further with that, those medications that people take, like SSRIs, any of the anti-anxiety medicine, severely dehydrate you. Severely dehydrate you. Yeah. So this should be, that's something we only did trials with like a few people on that. All great results. We just kind of, we're new. Still trying to figure out where we can fit in. But that was one of the sort of medical needs. We kind of put everything into there like that situation. And then we, have a neighbor who had her colon removed.
Oh, wow.
Tough time hydrating. She was going to the ER and get IV.
Yeah.
Had a great quote from her. Like she was using it. She said after about 3 days, she woke up and she felt like she had gone to the ER and gotten an IV that day.
Wow.
She loved it. Yeah, she posts about it. She's a big fan. So we've gotten a little bit of push in like that community, like ileostomy community.
Man, that's awesome.
Because it works, and it's pure, it's clean. There's nothing in it that you don't need.
So you said that you guys are fairly new. When did you start this? Like what year did it kind of?
Well, last year we launched the product towards the end of last year, the end of 2022.
So it hasn't even been a year.
Hasn't even been a year. Yeah.
Wow, and you already have this many people that you made an impact on. That's amazing. Man.
I know it's good.
Like just think about where you might be in 10 years, or not even 10 years, but how many people you're gonna help with this stuff.
That's the thing, is it's a good mission.
Yeah.
We found some really cool lactation consultants that we work with. I wish we could. I wish we could have brought a guy. Kanita Shenovert, I'll give her a shout out. Milk Drops Lactation, but she kind of jumped on board with this and saw a difference from the beginning.
Man,
she's
awesome.
She's African American. She's done a study for getting Medicaid to cover lactation consultants and products in Louisiana. So like she pushes hard and she loves this. She gets every one of her patients on it. So we've gotten a lot of love from the people that we've gotten to try it.
Yeah.
That's the thing, you really have to try it. Like the investors like, can't we make a flavor? I was like, no, that's not what this product is. Like go invest in something else. Like that's not what this is.
Right, absolutely.
And if it doesn't work, then I don't know. At least I stuck by what I wanted it to be, and I'll still make it for myself.
So yeah, man. I mean, I think you have a great product here, and I'm really excited to see where it goes and where you take it, man.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks so much for having me on your first podcast. And
of course. Where can people get this?
Yeah, it's bodyflowhydration.com is the only
go.
place right now
Okay.
that you can order it. I mean, I think you can order it through Instagram and Facebook. I'm not sure, but yeah, if anybody that watches this has any questions, you can just shoot an email to hello@BodyFlowHydration or Vincent@BodyFlowHydration, or hit us up on Instagram. Happy to answer any questions.
Man, I love it. So like we say on the First Time Podcast, it's never too late for a first time.
Dang right.
So try BodyFlow for the first time and make sure you tag them so we can see how you liked it and what it did for you.
Yep. Awesome. All right. Bye-bye, everybody.
Later. Was that kind of a good ending?
Perfect.
All right, cool.